Hey guys! Welcome back to our channel. Today we're doing a sit-down video. Like we mentioned, we were going to talk about our story, and so that's what this is going to be today.
Our story and how we met and how we got to where we are today.
Yes, so if you haven't checked out that video, we will leave that video up in the iCard, which should be on this side above his head, or this side. I'm not really sure which side yet. But we will leave that story. Started November 25th when 2019 when I was with one of my girlfriends up at college, and she had just gone through a breakup, and so being the good friend I was, I hopped onto Bumble with her and I just started swiping. Like, I wasn't looking for a relationship at the time. Neither was he when all this happened.
Right.
And I get this, so you swipe right if you like want to match with them, and you swipe left. It's kind of like Tinder, I think.
Yeah, it's essentially Tinder.
I never had Tinder, so I only had Bumble. But I swiped left because I was just swiping because there were no guys in my area. So I was like, oh, swipe left, swipe left, swipe left. Luckily, you have like 3 undos. So I swiped left and I was like, hold on. He was kind of cute. So I shook my phone and I undid it and I swiped right, and then it pops up and it's like, oh, it's a match. Do you want to initiate a conversation? On Bumble, the girls initiate the conversations. So
which is why I liked Bumble.
Yes.
That's why I preferred Bumble, because I am not great at starting conversations. At least I wasn't. I'm definitely, that's something I've learn to try to push myself to get better at.
Yeah,
so that's what I liked about Bumble.
Yeah, so I messaged him first, and throughout the videos we'll try and put up like our conversations and pictures of us. Yeah. But I messaged him first and I said, hey, I think you're cute. No, hey, your dog is cute, but I think you're cute. Winky face.
I had my now my dog. He was my parents' dog, but I've now adopted him as my own, which is nice. So he'll definitely be in the videos once we get him.
Yes, once we get him
from
back.
Our family friend at the moment. No, so that's where she had her encounter at first. For me, I was where I am now at my aunt's house because at the time, I was living up in Chicago due to, personal reasons with my family.
Yes, I was in Emporia.
Yeah, and so November 25th of 2019, it was Thanksgiving, so we came down here back home to Kansas City for Thanksgiving. And so, yeah, I was on Bumble in Chicago as well. I only had it in Chicago just to meet friends and whatnot, and so I did the same thing here in Kansas City. I was like, let's just meet some new people, why not? It doesn't hurt to know some new people. And yeah, I saw her picture. I didn't swipe left. I always make that
he always gives me crap about that.
I always do, but no, I saw her picture and I was like, oh my goodness, I gotta swipe right on her. How can you not?
Do you remember what picture it was?
It was the one of, I call it the what do I call it?
The jean shirt.
Yeah, the jean shirt, but I call it the curtain.
The curtain.
I think it looks like a curtain.
It kind of does.
The one,
we'll definitely post that picture.
Shoulders, yeah.
And then I remember his picture was him like leaning up against a gate with a gate in his leather jacket. So we for sure still have those pictures. I will pop them up here.
Yep.
And then we started talking. I came back home that next day for Thanksgiving, actually. And we like to watch Elf when we're getting ready for Thanksgiving meal. And so I sent him a picture of Elf, not knowing that it was his favorite movie.
All time. Christmas movies aside, Elf is my all-time favorite movie.
Yeah, so I sent him a picture of Elf. And he was like, oh my gosh, you're watching Elf. And I was like, yeah, you're right. And he goes, that's my favorite movie. And I was like, mine too. So that was something in common that we had.
And so we just started snapping each other back and forth on Snapchat, quoting it back and forth because we both do it.
Yeah, and then I had his location on Snap Maps because he had it public. And so I was like, oh, I just went on there. I was like, oh, I wonder where he is, like how close he is.
Yeah.
He was 5 minutes from me. So I really liked that factor of it. But at the time, neither of us wanted to date still.
No, and especially with her in Emporia, I was back up in Chicago. Just there for Thanksgiving for just a little bit. I think even less than a week maybe I was there. Not too long. So yeah, since I was back up at Chicago...
I was back up at school at that point.
Yeah, it was... we definitely, when we each, I'd say went our own ways, but when we both, went back to our respective home, as you will, we kept in contact. Not as much.
We kept in contact, but not
hey,
as much as we
good
would
morning.
like.
How are you doing? How's today? Nothing major.
And then I fell off the face of the earth for a while because finals time was coming up, and so I kind of just fell off the face of the earth for a few weeks?
Few weeks. I mean, I was doing my own thing in Chicago, so I mean, it was nothing.
Nothing like, oh, I need to talk to this person.
Yeah, at that time, it was not a dependable. I was not dependable at that point.
Fast forward, after I fell off the face of the planet for a while, I was just in this weird headspace of finals are almost over, all my friends were going home for school break, and so I just texted him, I hit him up randomly. I was like, hey, don't know if you want to talk, but like, I need someone to talk to. So then we started talking again.
I love talking just to people in general. Like, I'll hold a conversation with anyone just to, talk to them about anything and everything.
So then we started talking, and I remember vividly one night I was like, or one afternoon I think, I was like, hey, do you just want to FaceTime? And he said yes. I was like, okay, like...
Yeah, why not? What do we got to lose?
So in my dorm building, I'm not going to say too much, but in my dorm building, there's a common space. And so I was out in the common space, and I just FaceTimed him, and we had like the spinny office chairs. So I'm sitting in the spinny office chair. I don't even think I looked at you once during that conversation.
Very, like, briefly, not much.
And I was just spinning in the office chair, and he was playing...
I was playing video games. Just
so, like,
probably Call of Duty or something like that. Something funny.
So that happened, and after that call, I was like, oh, we should FaceTime again. Let's keep talking.
Yeah.
So we did, and... we started to like each other, even though we had never met besides that FaceTime call.
Right. Virtually we've met, but not physically met.
So there would be nights that we'd be super, super flirty. We're like, hey, I miss you. And granted, we had never met.
Right.
It was strictly off this one phone call. And it was like, hey, I miss you. I wish I could meet you.
Yeah.
You seem like a really cool guy, vice versa for you.
Oh, yeah.
So there was one night that I was back out in that common space because I just needed a break from my room. And we're just texting, and we were on FaceTime again. And I felt so oddly comfortable that I was just like, so I'm going to tell you my life story. So I did, without hesitation. Like, I've always been afraid to tell people my story because I don't know what they're gonna think.
Yeah, and I think what we should do is do a story for you guys of our stories where we come from and our experiences in life.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that.
That'll be something.
I just so open with you and about that. I told you that I was adopted and that I had all these health issues, and you're like, okay. I
mean, the second she did that, the second she opened up, I was like, oh, okay.
Like this is
what we're doing. And I was like, I was fully comfortable at that point. I was like, well, okay, you're, giving me all this
information.
Yeah, here's my past, if you will, and here's what I've been through. And I was adopted as well. I have, health issues, complications as well. So we definitely formed a bond almost over that, and we
felt so comfortable.
Yeah, it was so cool of how much stuff we had in common.
So fast forward probably to the next week, we had a phone call. It wasn't a FaceTime call, it was strictly a phone call because we were being super flirty. We knew we liked each other from the moment that we opened up. Definitely. And I was like, what are we doing? Like, so I'm up here wait, no. He's up here in Chicago, I'm down here in Emporia, and it was how far away?
521.9 miles.
Yes,
exactly.
I did the math. For one time.
Yes.
And so we're like, what are we doing? I'm here, you're here. We don't know if we're ever gonna get to meet in person.
Yeah, I never thought I would ever meet her in real life.
Yeah, and it was like, do you want to do long distance? Do you not? And I was like, I don't know, long distance, if that works. But deep down, I knew that I wanted to do long distance, but I wasn't telling him.
Vice versa. I had definitely strong feelings to where I was like, okay, I
could see it working.
I could see it working, you know. I wanted to. I really did, but I didn't know where she was at, so I wasn't confident enough to be like, this is what I want.
So after that call, we just agreed to stay flirty, fun friends. And I think it was 2 nights went by and I called him again. I was like, we need to talk. And at that, it was January, or no, it wasn't January yet.
No.
It was still December. And so I was talking to him and I was like, oh, I really want to do long distance, but I don't. Like, it was this conversation again because I'm like, we're acting flirty, we're acting like we're together, but we're not. We had calls that were the same where, okay, hey, this is what we're doing again. Like, you know, is this really what we want to do? Yeah, what are we doing here? After Christmas break, I got back to Emporia. He was still in Chicago at this point. Yep. And all my friends' boyfriends were there. So my friend's boyfriend came to visit her that weekend, vice versa with another friend and her boyfriend, and then my roommate and her boyfriend at the time were all there. And so we were just having giant game night, and because it was my room, we all hung out in my room. So they're like, well, you know, why don't you come to dinner with us? And so that's when I was texting him. I was like, hey, this is my situation. Like, was 7th wheeling at this point, and I just feel uncomfortable. Like, I wish you were here. And that was the moment I was like, oh, I really like this guy. Like, for me to say, I wish you were here, meant a lot to me, as well as you. Absolutely. No, when I got that, I was like, okay, she really does actually care about me. She's showing me that. It was that night. We were just talking, and I was like, hey, I like you. This was over Snapchat. We were just texting over Snapchat. Me. She was like, hey, I like you. And then she said, I really like you. And then I was like, I really, really like you, like in all caps. Yes, like, and then like the word like would be in all caps and everything. And so, how'd you feel about that? I was showing me, she was reciprocating the way I was feeling back. But neither of us knew how we felt about each other at the time. Well, until that, and we just never really told each other how we really did feel. We went a good 2 months almost before telling each other how we really felt. We did. My roommate and her boyfriend, I think, were asleep, and I was texting him because I couldn't sleep, and I was like, hey, like, I really like you. I wish you were here tonight. Like, I didn't feel lonely. I just felt kind of left out because of the situation that was happening with my friends and their boyfriends. You had said that you were going to go to bed. I was going to go to bed, and so I said, hey, there's something I need to tell you. She said, okay, what is it? I took a video of me. Thinking I was like going to get dumped or something, even though we weren't together. No, and I said, I love you. And I sent her that video. I don't think I sent anything back right away. I don't think you did either, which you opened it and my heart was just like racing. I was just like, okay, what's she gonna say? Yeah. Like, because you were so vulnerable in that moment, and so I opened it and he's like, hey, I love you. As I was about to go to bed, like, so this complicates things. I said, so what does this mean of our fun, flirty friendship? I love you too, though. I did say it back. I did say it back, but it was
And then followed after, like, okay, so what does this mean?
Yes, I said, so what does this mean?
She said, and you said specifically, you said, so does this mean you're my boyfriend? And I said, well, does this mean you're my girlfriend?
And that was when we made it official.
Yeah.
It was January 25th of 2020. So exactly 2 months after we had matched is when he officially asked me to be his girlfriend.
Well, even from there on, we were FaceTiming more often.
There were nights that I'd fall asleep with him on FaceTime.
Yeah, there were nights.
Do you remember the nights where my phone would get overheated?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, where's my phone? I currently have the iPhone 7 Plus, but when we first started dating, I had the iPhone 7. And very, very old, and it would overheat within 30 minutes of being on FaceTime with him. So there would be nights where I wouldn't have headphones in. I'd have him muted, and I would just lay him on my windowsill because it was concrete. It was cold, so it would cool my phone.
Yeah, so we were definitely FaceTiming and talking a lot more because, at that point we were dating. I was still in school at that time. And I was still in Chicago.
It was a week after we started dating, and so washing my hands, and he texts me. He's like, hey, what's your address? Me not thinking anything of it because we're dating, I was like, I sent him my address.
She gave me her address. The person she's been dating a week, never met in her life, just gave me her address. She didn't know why at that point.
Yeah.
So I'll go back a little bit from my perspective. That morning I wake up, I get a text from my mom, hey, I need you to come upstairs, we need to talk. I was like, okay, that's unusual. I could tell something was off, and so went upstairs, and for personal reasons, my mom was just like, hey, we need to move back to Kansas. Like, we need to move back home, essentially. And
you call Kansas home.
Yeah, Kansas is home. I've lived here my whole entire life, minus the 10 or so months I was in Chicago. And at that point, it was funny. Not selfishly, not thinking about her, I was upset because I didn't like change, You
hate change.
I hate change, yes. Selfishly, I was like, I don't want to. I was actually about to start a new job the following week. And so I think pretty much that day, we packed up and left that day, I believe, if not a few days after. But anyway, after that conversation, we had found, where we were eventually going to be moving to pretty quickly, actually, which was crazy. And I was like, hey, where do you live? She sends me her address. I think, were you on FaceTime at that point? Or,
no.
No, you weren't? Okay.
You were just texting me because I was washing my hands and I didn't have my AirPods in or anything.
Right, so I text her, hey, where you live? She sends me her address, and she's like, why? What's up,
Because I didn't expect him to just be like, hey, what's your address? And not tell me why. Like, I didn't know if he was sending me something or because he has a hoodie that I really, really liked. And so I didn't know. I was like, I always made the joke of, hey, that's my hoodie once we started dating. So I didn't know if he was sending me that. That's why I thought he was asking for my address, was so that he could send me that hoodie.
Right. So, yeah, I was actually looking to see how far we were from each other. And it was crazy. I said, hey, so get this. We are 7 minutes away from each other.
Yeah.
I'm moving back to Kansas.
And I think as soon as I read that text, I called him, like, super, super excited.
After, a week of dating?
At that point, it was, like, almost
maybe
2 weeks.
Week and a half, 2 weeks, of dating. We were like, okay, we, have a goal.
Set date.
Yeah, a set date of when we are potentially going to meet. And, so yeah, that happened.
Yeah, so we actually met, and our first date was on leap year of 2020.
Yes. February 29th, 2020.
Yes. Yeah. That was when we first met in our first date. So that concludes our story of how we met and when we started dating. I hope you guys enjoyed that video because that was actually a lot of fun making.
It was.
If you want more on like what happened on our first date, let us know in the comments down below. So if there are any video ideas that you would like to see from us,
Comment down below.
Comment down below.
please.
We read all of our comments. So yes, we do read our comments. We read all of our comments. We read all of our messages. So feel free to message us, comment down below what you guys want to see. Keep an eye out for future videos. We are so excited about this journey that we're starting together, and everything.
We got a lot of big things coming up.
We have a lot of big
very
things
soon.
coming up that
Yes.
will be on this channel.
So you won't want to miss them.
You won't want to miss them, but I will say that we are humans. We're not going to pull out the camera every single time something happens.
Yeah.
And we know that you guys will respect that. There will probably be some days where you guys don't get a video, and life happens because we're human. Make sure you hit that subscribe button,
Yes.
hit that bell, hit that like, and share our video with friends and family.
Please.